The odds of you being born are 1 in 10 to the power of 2,685,000. That number is so large that if you wrote it out, it would stretch from Earth to the edge of the observable universe and back. You are the most statistically impossible thing that has ever happened. And that's not poetry, that's mathematics. But here's what makes this even more unsettling. There's one specific moment in the chain of events leading to your existence that, if it had gone differently by a fraction of a second, you wouldn't just be a different person. You wouldn't exist at all. And I'll reveal exactly what that moment is before this video ends. Statistical miracle walking. By the time we're done here, you'll understand why every single breath you take is an act of cosmic defiance. Why your DNA is a lottery ticket that won against odds that make the universe itself seem small. And why the fact that you're watching this right now is the most extraordinary event in the history of probability. Impossible odds. Let's start with a number that will break your brain. The probability of you existing exactly as you are is approximately 1 in 10 to the power of 2,685,000. Impossible. To put that in perspective, the total number of atoms in the observable universe is only 10 to the power of 80. That means the odds against your existence have more zeros than there are atoms in everything we can see. Dr. Ali Binazir, a Harvard researcher, actually sat down and calculated this. He traced every event that had to happen, from your parents' meeting, to that specific sperm meeting that specific egg, to every ancestor in your lineage surviving long enough to reproduce. The probability of you existing at all is basically zero. And he wasn't exaggerating. He was being conservative, because his calculation didn't even account for all the cosmic events that had to align before your ancestors even existed on this planet. Every single link in the chain had to hold perfectly, and the chain stretches back 4 billion years. But what does a number that large actually mean for you? The answer is far more personal than you think. Your parents' meeting. Now here's where it gets personal. Stop and think about this for a second. Your parents had to meet. Not just exist on the same planet, not just live in the same country. They had to be in the exact same place at the exact same time under circumstances that made them actually interact. Exact place, exact time. The probability of any two specific people meeting in their lifetime is about 1 in 20,000. But meeting isn't enough. They had to like each other. They had to stay together long enough. They had to decide, consciously or not, to have a child at that specific moment. If your mother had a headache that night, if your father had worked late, if traffic had been different, if one of them had chosen a different restaurant, a different school, a different city, you vanish from existence. And this is just one generation. This same impossible sequence of events had to happen for your grandparents and their parents and their parents before them. If that just blew your mind, hit like and subscribe, because the numbers are about to get truly insane. Seriously, you're not ready for what comes next. Because when you trace this chain backward, the numbers don't just get bigger, they become incomprehensible. The sperm lottery. Here's where the story takes a dark turn. On the night you were conceived, approximately 250 million sperm competed for one single egg. 250 million. That's roughly the population of Indonesia, all racing toward one destination. And you won that race. But it's not just about winning. Each of those 250 million sperm carried a completely unique combination of your father's DNA. A different sperm would have produced a completely different person. Not a slightly different version of you. A totally different human being with different features, different personality traits, different everything. A different person would be living your entire life right now. And this same lottery happened for your mother's egg. Women are born with about 2 million eggs, and only about 400 will ever mature. The specific egg that became you had to be the one released that month. 1 egg in 2 million. Multiply the sperm odds by the egg odds by every generation going back to the first humans, and you start to understand why Dr. Binazir's number has 2 million zeros. But even this staggering calculation misses something crucial. Ancestor survival. Let me pause here because this next part changes the entire picture. You don't just need your parents to exist. You need every single one of your ancestors, going back hundreds of thousands of generations, to survive long enough to reproduce. 1. Every ancestor survived childhood diseases. 2. Every ancestor avoided fatal predators. 3. Every ancestor found a mate in time. 4. Every ancestor lived through wars and famines. Consider this. You have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents. Go back just 40 generations, roughly 1,000 years, and you have over 1 trillion theoretical ancestors. Obviously, many of those lines overlap, but the point remains. Trillions. Every single one of those people had to survive plagues that wiped out 1/3 of Europe. They had to survive ice ages, volcanic winters, tribal warfare, childbirth without medicine, and predators that could end their entire genetic line in one afternoon. If even one of them had died a day earlier, or been in the wrong place at the wrong time, your entire genetic lineage collapses. You think your life is hard. Your ancestors fought through extinction events so you could exist. And the further back we go, the more terrifying the survival odds become. Cosmic requirements. But here's what nobody tells you. Your existence didn't start with your ancestors. It started with the universe itself. For you to exist, a specific star had to explode billions of years ago. Every atom in your body came from a star that exploded. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs. All of it was forged in the nuclear furnace of a dying star. That star had to be the right mass, explode at the right time, and scatter its elements in exactly the right direction so that they would eventually coalesce into our solar system. Star death created you. Then Earth had to form at precisely the right distance from the sun. The habitable zone. Too close and all water evaporates. Too far and everything freezes. Earth sits in the only sliver of space where liquid water can exist. Then the moon had to form from a collision so catastrophic that it nearly destroyed the planet. But that collision stabilized Earth's tilt, giving us seasons and stable climate. Without that one violent accident 4.5 billion years ago, complex life never evolves. And what comes next? That's where it gets truly insane. Extinction roulette. Now, what I'm about to tell you sounds impossible, but it's been proven. Life on Earth has faced 5 mass extinction events. 5 times, life on this planet was nearly wiped out completely. The worst one, the Permian extinction 252 million years ago, killed 96% of all marine species and 70% of land species. 96%. If it had been 97%, the surviving lineage that eventually led to mammals might have been erased. Your existence depended on the survival of creatures that had no idea they were fighting for your future. Then came the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. A rock 6 miles wide, traveling at 45,000 miles per hour, hit what is now the Yucatan Peninsula. If that asteroid had arrived 10 minutes earlier or 10 minutes later, it would have hit deep ocean instead of shallow coastal rock. The sulfur ejection would have been vastly different. Dinosaurs might still be here, and mammals would never have risen. 10 minutes changed everything. 10 minutes. That's the margin between a world ruled by dinosaurs and a world that produced you. But this chain of near misses goes even deeper than extinction events. DNA precision. If you thought that was disturbing, you're not ready for this. Your DNA contains 3.2 billion base pairs. Billions. Each one is a letter in the instruction manual that makes you, you. Adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. 4 letters, 3 billion combinations. If even a tiny fraction of those base pairs were different, you wouldn't be you. You'd be someone else entirely, or you might not be viable as a living organism at all. During reproduction, your parent's DNA recombines through a process called crossing over. Chromosomes literally swap sections of genetic material. Swap, shuffle, recombine. The number of possible genetic combinations from just 2 parents is approximately 70 trillion. That's 70 followed by 12 zeros, and that's before random mutations are factored in. You are the only possible you, not just in this world, but in the entire history of the universe. Your exact genetic configuration has never existed before and will never exist again. Not in 1 billion years. Not if the universe ran its entire lifespan 1,000 times over. Your DNA is a combination that the cosmos will never repeat. And this genetic miracle connects to something even more fundamental about time itself. Timing is everything. Here's where the story takes its most shocking turn. Everything we've discussed so far, the cosmic events, the ancestral survival, the genetic lottery. All of it depended on one thing: timing. Not timing measured in years or even days. Timing measured in seconds. Fractions of seconds. Your conception had to happen within a window of approximately 12 to 24 hours, the lifespan of a mature egg. If your parents had conceived even one day later, a different egg would have been released. Different egg means different you, which means no you at all. Now multiply that by every generation in your lineage. Thousands upon thousands of conceptions, each one requiring a timing window measured in hours, across a span of billions of years. Every moment in history had to align with mathematical precision. The philosopher Alan Watts once described it beautifully. You are the universe experiencing itself. Every second mattered precisely. And this is where I can finally reveal the single most fragile link in your entire chain of existence. The one moment I mentioned at the beginning. The fragile link. This is it. The moment I promised you at the start. The single most fragile link in the entire chain of your existence. And it's not what you'd expect. It's not the asteroid. It's not the stars exploding. It's the emergence of the very first self-replicating molecule, roughly 3.8 billion years ago. A single molecule in a specific tide pool on a specific day somehow gained the ability to copy itself. That one molecule is the ancestor of every living thing that has ever existed on Earth. Every bacterium, every dinosaur, every human. All from one molecular accident. One molecule decided to copy itself. And 4 billion years later, you are watching this video. Scientists have been trying to replicate this event in laboratories for decades. They cannot. Despite all our technology, all our knowledge, we cannot deliberately create what random chance produced once in 4.5 billion years. That molecule is the most important thing that ever existed, and it happened by accident. If that one molecule had failed to form, the Earth would still be a barren rock. No life, no evolution, no ancestors, no you. Comment which part of this chain you think is the most fragile. Was it the molecule, the asteroid timing, or the sperm lottery? I bet most of you will pick something different from what I'd choose. But even understanding all of this, the deepest implication hasn't hit you yet. Miracle of now. So let's bring this all together. We started with a number. 1 in 10 to the power of 2,685,000. The probability that you exist with your exact DNA, born to your exact parents, at this exact moment in the 14 billion year history of the universe. Statistical miracle, you are. Stars had to explode. An asteroid had to hit at the right minute. A molecule had to copy itself against impossible odds. 5 mass extinctions had to spare your ancestors. Thousands of generations had to survive, meet, and conceive within precise windows of time. And 250 million sperm had to lose their race so that you could win yours. The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. That's not inspiration. That's literally true. Every atom in your body was forged in the heart of a dying star, passed through billions of years of evolution, survived extinction after extinction, and somehow assembled itself into the exact configuration that is reading these words right now. You are not just unlikely, you are statistically impossible. Miracle. And yet here you are, breathing, thinking, existing against every odd the universe could throw at you. So the next time life feels ordinary, the next time you feel like just another face in the crowd, remember this. The probability that you exist is basically zero. And yet, against odds so astronomical they make infinity look small, here you are. Zero probability, infinite worth. You are not an accident. You are the result of 14 billion years of cosmic events, each one perfectly timed, perfectly placed, perfectly executed. You are a 4 billion year old lineage of survivors. You are stardust that learned to think. Existence is not only stranger than we suppose, it is stranger than we can suppose. So don't waste it. Don't spend this impossible gift scrolling through life on autopilot. You beat odds of 1 in 10 to the power of 2 million just to be here. Act like it. If you made it this far, comment statistical miracle to prove you understand what you truly are. The truth is stranger than anything you could make up. If your brain is as blown as mine right now, hit subscribe. Because next time, it gets even crazier.